How to reposition chart elements is what we're going to look at next. We should already know how to insert a simple chart into Excel, and we can do that by selecting the data and then using the Insert tab, and then from the Chart section choose a style of chart that we'd like to insert. I'm going to insert a simple column chart, 2D. And there's my chart. Once I've got that inserted, there are various little things that we can do. For example, we can use on the Design tab the Chart Style section to alter the basic styling and coloration of your chart. We can choose different styling just by simply pointing and clicking, and that will apply that formatting to our chart. We can scroll those sections up and down, or we can use the expand box, the more button to choose our styling as well. So that's the chart styles. That's a very quick way of formatting, but we can have more control than that. The basic layout of the chart, I'll just make that a little bit bigger so we can see it in a little bit more detail. The basic styling, we've got a title there, we've got a legend here to tell us what the series is, monthly salary in this case, and we've got axes and axes labels. We can play around with those. For example, the title, I can just click and drag that box to move it around the screen. And we can do that with various elements of the chart. Or, again on the Design tab, we can use quick layouts. This allows us to choose from a range of standardized layouts for our chart. Layout 1 puts it back to how we started. That's the default. Layout 2 puts the series, the legend information, just underneath the title. And there's no axes labeled on the left hand side. So it's just a question of choosing these stylings to find the one that you like the look of. That's got an axis, title, and a data table at the bottom. So there's various layouts that you can use just by pointing and clicking. But yet again, we can have more control. And that's what we like to be using at the advanced level. I'm going to switch now to the Layout tab and use one or two of the icons here. It's mainly this Labels section that we're going to look at in this video. And first of all, the Chart Title icon. This allows us to have no title, and the title disappears, or a centered title without resizing the chart, and it overlays the title above the chart itself, or we can put it above the chart but shrink down the chart to make space. So that's changing the options to position the chart title. We could do similar things with the rest of these. The axes titles, for example, primary, horizontal, currently it's set to none. Let's put one in, title below the axis, and it's giving me a little text box placeholder here that I can click inside and type. That allows me to label the axes. So again, we'll work on the Layout tab, remember, in the Labels section, Axis Titles. And I've just added a horizontal title. Let's do the same with the vertical. Primary, vertical, there's none at the moment. You can see that's sort of coloured in that box. Let's have a rotated title. Gives me a text box here that I can click inside and type, and I'll label this salary. That's the axis titles. We can switch them on and off, and we can, in some instances, make alterations to its positioning. That's the axes. We can also look at the legend. What the legend is, I used to call it a key. It tells you what the chart series are all about. At the moment it's switched on, you can see the orange box there, showing the legend at the right, and here it is. Let's move it, let's put it at the top. And it puts it, oh, that doesn't look very good, does it? Let's change it again. Legend. Let's try it at the left. That looks a little bit better with the legend over here. So you can see this is just about playing around, making the choices. Oops, it's the legend we're working with. To position the chart elements where you want them to go. We can also switch the data table on and off. That's the data table. It puts the information at the bottom of the screen to tell you what the values are. I tend to find that a little bit squashed, so I don't like mine on. Switch it to none. And then finally we can add the data labels to the columns themselves. So it's the data labels section, currently on none. Let's put them in the center. That's okay. So you can see there, go back to the layout. I use data labels and I've now put them in the center, and it's put the value in the center of each column. 1300, 850, 1800. I can change the position of those just by selecting data labels and choosing. Let's try it outside end. And it's put them outside of each column. It's labeling each column with its value. So that's changing the position of the chart elements such as titles, axes titles, legends, and data values by using layout and then the label section, and then just dialing up your properties, putting where you want them to be.